Okay, we will start now. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah,
Good evening, ma'am.
hope all of you are fine.
Hello.
Okay, let's start. Before starting, I will tell you that shall we have quiz on Monday and Thursday. Monday again in the last 5 to 10 minutes, and Thursday also on the last 5 to 10 minutes. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so if all of you are comfortable, then first test we will have on Monday, and second we will have on Thursday. So what we will do on both the day, that first we will recap everything very fast, and then we'll give you a quiz from Google form only, as we had during the time of exam. Clear? So
Yes,
now
ma'am.
it's final. Monday and Thursday. Okay, now let's start our discussion. Is it visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so uh, this slides includes two lectures that was earlier also 14, whatever we covered on the 14th, that is also there, and now we will discuss the new things. But let's recap very fast. What was the discussion last time?
Overcoming writer's block.
Writer's block.
Writer's block. Writer's block. Stop. What is a writer's block?
And it's an inability to think further to write something while writing a thesis or writing.
Yes. Stops generating ideas. So, what we discussed very fast. So, techniques of technical writing, we had a discussion on that day. So, that is a writer's block. So, it is a condition of being unable to think, right? That is writer's block. And we also discussed that there will be number of root causes for that. One root cause is fear. One root cause is perfectionism. One root cause is self-criticism. Clear? These were the root causes that we had a discussion on that day. Then strategies also we discussed. The strategy to overcome writer's block. So many strategies are there. One is self-compassion. One is just write for pleasure. Do something non-writing activities. Then we also had a discussion of Ernest Hemingway strategy of solving writer's block. He said that I just look out of the window and pass my time, and always remember that you wrote yesterday also, you will write today also, and you will write tomorrow also. So no need to worry. Start doing some other activities which will help you in start unblocking the flow of thoughts. Then we had a discussion of mind mapping. What is mind mapping?
Ma'am, where you draw stuff and you make a note of what is connected to what.
Yes, it's a it is called a spider diagram. Just like a spider, what you have to do, in that your right hemisphere of the brain starts working, it becomes more active. So what you do, you just whatever ideas comes to your mind related to the subject, start jotting down either on the computer or on the piece of paper, and later connect all this idea. And this process of connecting, that will help you in unblocking writer's block. Clear? This is very, very important strategy of unblocking writer's block. Then we also had a discussion of usages of mind mapping techniques. Definitely we are using mind mapping techniques for unblocking writer's block, but it is also used for brainstorming. It is also used for organizing research, outlining a speech, etc., etc. Now we will discuss another topic, that is new topic today, that is using emphasis. Now what is emphasis? What is the meaning of emphasis? And what emphasis has to do in technical writing? Any idea?
Ma'am, emphasizing means to focus more
Focus on the main subject of our writing.
Main subject of a writing? No. No.
No, I mean the thing we're focusing on. Our emphasis on that particular writing.
Focusing. Yes. Giving importance to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes, yes, good. Okay. Dhirendra?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Ishan said the same thing that I was about to say.
Okay. So, adding emphasis in writing. In oral communication, it's possible to emphasize by raising voice or by stressing the right words. It's very easy to emphasize in oral communication. But in writing, emphasis can be laid by changing the order of words in the sentence or changing the voice of sentence. What is changing the voice of sentence means what? How can
Express points. How
Yes, pardon?
Ma'am, it's the way of expressing, whether you express in active voice or passive voice, maybe.
Yes, active voice or a passive voice. Yes, good. So changing the voice also, you can create emphasis. In order to convey the exact meaning of what one say, words must be placed in the right order. A wrong positioning of words can change the meaning of the sentence completely or result in ambiguity. For example, I will give you one sentence. Write down the instructions to use stove on the paper. Now here, what is wrong positioning of words? The correct way of writing is write down the instruction on paper to use stove. Clear? So be careful while writing such type of sentences. Second, to advance her career, she needs to do solo dance badly. Again, wrong positioning of words. The correct arrangement is to advance her career. To advance her career, she badly needs to do solo dance. Is it clear to you? So you can create emphasis in a sentence, one, by changing the position of words. Another is changing the voice of sentence. The use of active voice in writing produce more forceful and livelier writing. Economy of words is one of the hallmarks of good writing, and using the active rather than passive voice is one way to achieve economy. So first of all, two points are here. First is to write sentence in an active voice. Second, why to write a sentence in an active voice? One, to create emphasis, and second, to minimize the usage of word. Minimize usage of words, because our purpose, what is the purpose of writing? Precisely, concisely, clear. That is the purpose. So in order to fulfill the purpose of technical writing, economy of words is required. Why active voice and not passive voice? Because passive constructions often result in vagueness as they are very long. For example, the lathe is run by electricity. Here emphasis on lathe. Electricity runs the lathe. Here emphasis on which word?
Electricity.
Electricity. Clear? So the meaning of above two sentence is the same, but the emphasis is different. Emphasis is completely different. Now again I repeat why we are discussing all these things. We also had a discussion of characteristics. We are also discussing techniques. Why we are spending time in discussing all these things? What is the reason? Any idea why we are discussing, why we are not starting writing all the research paper and scientific report, this and that? Why we are just focusing on these two chapters? These two chapters are very, very important. Important in the sense that after the completion of this chapter, we will start writing scientific report, research paper. We will start the exercise of all these topics. We will write scientific report. That would be the next step, our next topic. Then after that, research paper. But why we are discussing this? Because all these rules, all these characteristics will be helpful in writing that. At that time, we do not have to repeat. You just keep in mind before starting a scientific report or a research proposal. At that time, I will not repeat that write in active voice, avoid passive voice. I will not repeat the purpose. Purpose is to write the complex thing in a comprehensive way. There won't be discussion that which type of language you should use. Now you have clear idea that language is formal. Avoid euphemism, this and that. Clear? So we are discussing these things especially because all these things will help us in writing all the forms that we are going to write. So these two chapters are very, very important and fundamental. Okay. Now, prioritizing for effective writing. Priority. Like all other profession, a technical writer has a deadline to achieve and guidelines to abide by. One needs to focus not only on writing effectively, but also on writing efficiently. Now, in order to write effectively as well as efficiently, you have to give priority. You have to arrange the things in a priority ways. First is, what is the first step? Comprehend the subject. Without understanding, do not write. So first read the subject. Understand the subject. Then purpose of writing. Never forget the purpose of writing. That writing for targeted audience, writing with accuracy, writing with clarity, writing correctly. Organization of ideas. You will collect data. Again, always keep in mind or identify the expectations of the target audience. Logical arrangement, sequence. One idea in a one paragraph, and a meticulous editing for an error-free documentation. Clear? Now, plagiarism. What is a plagiarism? What is plagiarism? Yeah.
To copy someone else's work without their prior permission.
I think here some confusion. Copying some work that is there, but
copying someone else's work without a permission, or
no.
giving due credit.
There is slight. That is this refers to copyright. This refers to copyright. Am I right? Copying someone's work without permission. In a copyright, you have to take a permission. But in a plagiarism, what is there? That one uses somebody's thoughts or ideas or quotations without giving credit to the original author and claims as if they are their own. So here, what is the difference between the two? The main difference between the two is that in both copy is there, but in one you don't. A writer doesn't give credit to an original author, and in second, a writer doesn't take permission. Clear? Any query up to this? Any question? avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism means a writer copying another person's ideas, words, or work and presenting that they belong to him or her. It is frequently necessary to include extracts from reference book, journal, articles, or reports to support the argument. Because whenever you are doing a research writing, definitely a writer can cite quotations, ideas to substantiate his or her argument. It's necessary. But whenever you cite, at that time, just write down the citation. Mention the source. If the extracts taken directly from another source are merged in with the main text, then the writer is accused of plagiarism. Sometimes the plagiarism may not be intentional. Remember, every time plagiarism is not intentional. Sometimes the plagiarism may not be intentional, but in a hurry to meet the deadline, one may overlook to cite the sources from where the material has been extracted. However, whatever the intention of the writer, plagiarism is a punishable offense. A technical writer has to be aware of the rules for citing direct quotes and acknowledge all the sources referred to as soon as we write, definitely you will cite a quotation, and whenever you cite a quotation, you will just mention the source. Clear? Never avoid that. Otherwise, that would be unintentional plagiarism. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubt or a query? Please. Okay. Now, difference between plagiarism and copyright. What is difference between two? One difference already we discussed, that plagiarism means to copy someone's idea without giving credit or without attributing the credit. And copywriting means copying someone's work without permission. That is one difference. What is another difference between the two? Any idea? Please. Yes? It's not clear. Please repeat it. Yeah, claiming. Yes. Yeah, that is plagiarism. That is plagiarism. Yeah, plagiarism. Then, but what is the main? Another difference.
Can you repeat the first point what you just said?
Yeah, pardon?
Can you repeat the first point what you just said?
Yeah. I said that what is the main difference between plagiarism and copyright? One point we already discussed, that in a plagiarism, a writer copies another person's idea without attributing or without referring the source. One. Copyright, copying another's work or an idea without taking permission of that author. But what is
you are
another
right.
difference?
In the same slide, you've written that plagiarism means copying ideas, work. So
Yeah.
it's actually like you're just using the same definition of plagiarism in the copyright section.
No. Plagiarism means a writer copying another person's ideas or a words or a work.
Or work.
Yeah.
What's the difference between this work and the other work with copyright? What you're trying to say?
This work
Because
means,
like we were told
for example,
in
taking
IPR that
quotation. Work here means quotation. Quotation. Here work stands for a
like
quotation.
we were told in IPR that it was a property right which gives them exclusive right to the person to only use the work, and nobody else can use it without the person's permission. That's what copyright was. Definition was actually. That's what I was confused between.
That is
So
true.
and
Yeah.
so how
But-
can what you said that you are using the same definition of plagiarism for copyright? That's what I was asking.
No. This is not the same definition. Both are infringement. Clear? Both are cheating. But I am saying the type. One is ethical offense. Another is legal offense. Copyright is legal offense. Plagiarism is ethical offense. Let's discuss. The practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. That is plagiarism. Copyright infringement. It is the use or a production of copyright protected material without the permission of the copyright holder. Is it clear? Plagiarism is referred as an ethical offense. Plagiarism is an intellectual infringement of rules enforced by professional or a senate. Actions are taken by professionals. Clear? But in a copyright, it is a legal offense enforced by court. Is it clear, the difference between the two?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how to avoid plagiarism? How can we avoid this? How can we avoid plagiarism?
Any work before publication should be checked by the publishers, or there should be an institution that should specifically focus on this issue.
Yes. Permission should be there. That is again copyright, but permission should be taken. At the same time, whenever quotation is referred or is cited within the research work, then author's name, page number should be mentioned. Clear? Now, to avoid plagiarism, first, a loss of creativity or inability to meet deadlines might lure one into plagiarism. So set a regular habit of writing. Because if one try to complete everything at the last time, at the last moment, then definitely it may happen. Plagiarism may occur. So it's better cultivate a habit of writing regularly. Follow the tips to overcome a writer's block. Because we had a discussion earlier that if thoughts are not coming, what happens? Definitely one starts reading work, and when thoughts do not come, a writer may get tempted to cite everything without revealing the source. Clear? So try to remove or try to overcome impediment of writer's block. Whenever one extracts any material or a quotation from other book, never forget to cite its source. Another is one can avoid plagiarism by, in some cases, the author's permissions has to be obtained before including her work in the document. Therefore, one should always acknowledge the original work. Clear? Any question? If you have doubt, please ask. Okay, referencing. What is referencing? It's a very, very important techniques, and that is very, very important for all of you to learn. What is referencing?
It's the same that you have repeated, like acknowledging someone's work that you are including in your work.
No. It's there. It's there. It is there that acknowledging someone's work, but again, certain formal process is there. It's there that you have to acknowledge someone's work, but how to acknowledge? There is a particular method of acknowledging. Method is there that in some method you have to write surname first, name last. In some time, name first, surname last. Then the publication dates, page number. So there is a methodology, that is referencing. And work cited or a bibliography contains this, and it's very, very important. Because when a supervisor evaluates your research paper or a dissertation, this part are very important. First is a content, introduction, conclusion, bibliography, but it doesn't mean that body is not important. It's very, very important, but at a glance, if one evaluates your research paper or a dissertation, then these topics are considered. Referencing. To substantiate one's point, a technical writer cites quotations from other sources. Thus, referencing is the formal process of acknowledging the source that is referred or included in research work. What is the purpose or importance of referencing? First purpose is to enable the reader to consult the original source of information. For example, if you come across any good quotation or any good idea, then it's by curiosity you want to know that who is the writer. All the details are given either in a citation, that is citation is within the text and referencing is at the end of the text. Citation is within the text, and when the text is over, text means a research paper or a proposal, whatever. When the text is over, after that one has to cite references, list of references and or a bibliography to enable the reader to consult the original source of information. Second purpose is it assigns credit to the originators of ideas, theories, or research finding. Now, what needs to be referenced? Whenever a technical research writer cites ideas, quotations, or any other material from other sources, they needs to be referenced. Paraphrases and summary done on the basis of idea. Sometimes what happens that you do not actually cite the quotation, but paraphrase that quotation or a paraphrase particular paragraph or a give summary of a particular experiment, whatever, and then write down. So at that time also a writer has to mention that this paraphrase is based on original work and mention the source work. Clear? So paraphrases and summary done on the basis of ideas or facts from outside source needs to be referenced. Any doubt? There are two elements of referencing. One is citation, one is referencing. I told you that citation is used within the text to refer another author's ideas, quotation, etc. Referencing is done at the end of the work under the heading references. Now again, if you are following MLS style, then you mention the work cited. If you are following APA style, then a writer has to mention bibliography. So it is done at the end of the work under the heading references. Reference also secondary reference, primary reference, secondary reference. It is the list of all the sources used in an assignment. It is alphabetized according to the names of the authors. Each entry in the reference list contains detailed information about a source. In a citation, again I clarify, citation you do not, a writer doesn't have to give detailed information, only author's name and page number. that's enough. But in referencing, author's first name, last name, original text name, everything. It is the list of all the source, each entry in the reference list contains detailed information about a source. This includes the author's name, the year of publication, the title of the source, and source location details. Clear? Any doubt in this slide? Any question? Style manual, styling, or a citation style. These are interchangeable words. They are used interchangeably. Styling is standardized form for documentation. A style manual is a set of rules or a standards for writing a document that can be used for writing research and for publication. Style manual is a set of rules. Here is not a style, not a language. We are not discussing about language here. Style here is a set of rules or a standard for writing. There is a standard whether to write, whether to put full stop or a punctuation, which punctuation mark, comma or a column, what to put. So there is a rule that after name, full stop, after date, comma. There is a particular set of rules. So style manual is a set of rules or a standard for writing a document that can be used for writing research and for publication. Citation style is a set of rules dealing with how to cite source in research writing. Style manuals are very beneficial for publication purpose as they provide uniformity in style and formatting in terms of spelling, italics, punctuation. The most common citation styles are, these are the most common citation styles and they are referred as per the disciplines. MLA style, that is Modern Language Association. These are style manuals. Chicago Humanities style. It is especially used for publication purpose. APA style. American Psychological Association. Here we are concerned with two style, MLA style and APA style. And when we will write this scientific report, we will follow this format, either of MLA style or APA style, because I will ask that which is recommended for writing in engineering. So as per the norm, we will either focus on MLA style or a APA style. Both are almost same, but the main difference between the two, MLA style and APA style, is that, first of all, any idea about this two style of writing? What are the common features? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Common features. First is that both are written in a Times Roman. Double spacing is there. But some change in text citation. In one, author and a year is mentioned, that is in MLS style. And APA style, author and page number and a year and a full name of author, that is also there. So that is difference. Another difference is that in a APA style, there is no title page. In MLS style, title page is there. So some changes, minor differences are there. We will first of all finalize which format we will select for writing, and then as per that format we will focus on that, and next stage will be of writing, discussing first scientific report and then practice of writing scientific report. Clear? So in this way we have covered 2 chapters. If you remember the structure that I discussed in my first lecture, at that time I mentioned all the chapters, and this 2 we have completed 2 chapters. One, that was a technical writing overview, and second, this is writing techniques for writing technical writing. Do you have any query? Now today I will upload this second slide, that is 14 and 17 lecture in Google Classroom. Now my question is that shall we include both the slide in both the exam, or one exam will focus one slide and another exam will focus second slide PPT? What is suggestion? Shall we include both the PPT in both exam?
One on one.
One. Okay, so first, then it would be very limited one. It would be very limited, because if I will upload today, test will be only 5 questions will be there, right?
Then what you suggest, ma'am? We will consider it.
You decide. Whatever is decision, you just ask CR to message me. So as per that discussion, I will do that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes,
if you, my suggestion is that both, if you do both the slide, then again fine. There will be revision and repetition. Discussion will be out there. But whatever you find comfortable is okay for me. Okay. Any query? So next lecture on Monday, first we will revise very fast all the things, and then we will have a test. On Thursday also, but we'll discuss some features of scientific report, but not in detail. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good luck to all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.